Hi everyone, it's Artis from N Carpentry. In today's video we're going to be laying the floor. It's a vinyl floor. Really it's been chosen for ease of maintenance, which I suppose makes sense. So it starts from prepping the floor. In my case, if you remember, they were quite wide timber boards and they were old, so obviously dried enough. If it would be all new floor, or if you have a chipboard, that's fine too. So what I did is I've used some polymer adhesive in joints where I had a bigger joints in between the boards because there were a few gaps. Then I used a renovation screed or latex, renovation latex, which has some fibers inside. There are some tiny cracks, but they always appear no matter what kind of floor you have, either it's screed or any kind of, it's always a case. Why I probably, you're gonna have a question why I didn't plywood it all. Well, I would have if the floor wouldn't be as good as it was. You would probably have to put like 9mm ply, but the trouble is that would mean you would have to stick tile board or something here to bring the floor level, because that's where it joins, that's the concrete floor. But I wanted it, obviously if possible, I was hoping that we can just do that, and it has worked. So we prep the floor, that's how it starts. Obviously the second you choose which way you're gonna go with your floor, then you need to measure the width. In my case I'm gonna go lengthways. So I measure the width and work out where to start your board. I'll start from edges. And the reason being you want to do that because you don't want to have a silly cut either side. So you want to be more or less even, and in my case it will be basically half of the board on edges, so which is okay, I suppose. It's better than having a little slither. So once you've done that, I have lace level, which is not the best for this, but basically what I'm trying to do is to pin a line. Unfortunately I don't have a usable string line with me, chalk line, sorry. So I would advise using that. You can obviously put some weight down on either end and pin a line, and that's where you're gonna go with. So I'm gonna use either a bit of flooring or straighters just to mark the line where I'm going to start off, and I'll start with them areas here, finish that, and then as you can obviously see I got some stuff still here, so after I've done that I can cover the floor and put some stuff there later on. But I'll do two rows, and then I can work my way into the room, and once I've got to the middle I can then move the stuff around. So yeah, ideally you would have empty room, but it's very unlikely, so because I still need my tools, etc. So to do other bits. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. Just remember, prep your floor. Before that you need to make sure that all boards are screwed down. As I said, I was very lucky. There's only a few which were up where electricians had to lift up to get cables into walls, but mainly it was all sound. So that's why I went straight on with like renovation screed. And it worked out okay. So yeah, also when you do the latex, what you need to do, obviously your subfloor needs to be dry, debris free. Then you need to put some sort of a sealer, just to, you know, to stop moisture getting in and obviously into the board, because it is, when it's a board, it's obviously not great having moisture coming through, and also the seal and get rid of all the tiny dust, so you got good adhesion for your screeds, because obviously if that fails then everything else will fail. But I've had this down for quite a while now and it's been absolutely fine, so no movements at all. As I said, slight hairline cracks here and there, but nothing major, so but that's okay, that is to be expected. So yeah, as I said, you can use chalk line to pin the line, measure depending on which way you're going to have it, measure the width and then calculate where it falls in. I'll have, well, that's why I have bought like a set of notch trowels, spreaders, so I'll use probably that was what they advised, so I'll use that. Put the adhesive down. I'll put just in that area first, and then I'll move my way. I'll be going this way into the room, and yeah, so work out your boards where they're going to be, mark it, chalk line it, whatever you do. I don't have chalk line, hence why I'm putting laser level, just so I can get that straight line. Better would be chalk line, easier, quicker. And then yeah, I will start applying adhesive and we go from there. So I've done the line, as you can see, it goes all the way through. So that's the line we're going to work to. So we know we're sort of parallel to the walls. So also what I suggest, do 2 rows at a time roughly. Is just for it to stop moving as much, because obviously we'll want it. Also, you're going to need a roller, one of these rollers, so you can apply force. So you can roll down the boards and get the air out. This is perfect width, as you can see. It will cover all the board we need to cover, so apply some weight to it for better adhesion, to make sure, you know, you don't have air or anything like that. So yeah, I'll just set up and crack on, I suppose. Right, so this is how you get it done. In my case with this glue, I had to wait like 10 minutes before it gets sort of, so it's not too runny, because the trouble is when it's runny you will want to slide around. In terms of fitting, if you prepare your skirting like I did, I put like 4mm packer to allow me to slide it under easily enough, and then I'm going to silicone with clear silicone afterwards to seal it off. So in terms of fitting itself, it's easier than wood floor, because you got tongue and groove, or laminate, because like in sections like that you can just cut it slightly bigger, slide it under, and wiggle it in a room, use the roller to flatten it to get all air bubbles out, and yeah, that's it basically. You repeat the process. So as you can see, I've done a little bit to start with. I haven't covered all of it yet, but I'll do this section, then I'll jump on this one and carry on the process and just basically copy paste, if you like. As you can see here, the last strip is about 90-ish millimeters, so that will be the same there. And if you imagine, if we wouldn't sort of work it all out, you'd have a very thin slider to mess around with on one of the sides. So it is always best to work it all out. And yeah, so I hope someone will find it useful, and I will get back to you when it's all done so I can show you what we've done. But yeah, hope you find it useful, and you'll be able to do your own floor if you need to. So I will catch up with you in a bit. I've just wanted to share with you experience of fitting this flooring. It was not too bad, to be honest. As I mentioned before, you measure your width, and when obviously you'll see a little bit how I was doing it. So in areas where it's a good run, so not the ones where you need to do cutouts, I would say probably put this side first and leave them bits later, which I didn't do, and that made it slightly harder because I had to rush, because adhesive was drying and I had to rush so it sticks. Other thing is, with these little detailed areas where you got to put, like you can see here, one piece which goes under the skirting, etc. What I had to do is be able to wiggle it slightly, so your glue wants to be slightly less tacky than you would do it normally on the big areas, because that's fine. You can obviously, as you put your, so on the big areas, what I used to do width of 5 rows, and that was plenty. By the time you put your glue on, you can start from other end putting the flooring in, and you know, by the time you get to the end, say 4 or 5 rows at a time. But with this bit, I would suggest you do it a bit after, because you'll have less time to work. So if you go to these areas there first, then you got a little section which you can do afterwards, and therefore it's not going to dry on you basically, because if you can do all of it, you will struggle slightly, or could, you know, potentially end up that your glue dries, and you know, then you need to reapply again, and obviously it's not the same. But yeah, in general, that's where we are with the floor. As you remember, I was going to put it all the way through, which we did. And the little areas where it didn't stick, what I used, like when I got, you know, in a trickier spots, I noticed that by heating up, obviously put something between your floor and the iron, you can heat it up and push it down that little corner which doesn't stick, because I did have a few of them here and there where I had sort of trickier cutouts to do. Particularly if it's not very flat surface, that's where what it doesn't like. What it wants to be flat, because if it's not flat, then it doesn't like to stick. And reason being because it's quite rigid, the board, so it's really not willing to stick that well. You know, so the flatter you can get the floor, the better, really. Before you actually fit it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share in terms of laying floor. Hope you find it useful, and I'll catch you in the next video.